What's going on, people? It's your boy DJ Ridler here from the Baby Fathers podcast. Before I start today's show, I need you lot to do me a big favor if you haven't done it yet. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to press the notification button so anytime a new episode comes out, you lot are going to be the first to know. And don't forget to give us the likes, all right? Cool. So listen, usually you see me sitting down with a father, them sharing their stories, all right? Today's show is a bit different. Today I'm going to call this the Baby Father meeting, because the reason why I'm calling it the Baby Fathers meeting, because I need some of your lot's advice onto the story I'm about to tell you. All right. Now, the story I'm about to tell you is one of my good friends, someone who I actually hang around with, someone who I've actually followed the process with him, what the madness that he's been going through. And I did ask him to share the story, and because he's not a social person, he doesn't touch socials, he don't play around with the socials. So he asked me if I could share it with you lot to get your lot's thoughts on this one. So I told him, cool, I will share the story. Some of the timeline might not add at times. I do apologize, but it's his story. And really, truly, he should be telling the story, but he's got me telling the story. All right, but I'm going to take it to the best how I understand this story to be, because I've been following the process of it with him. All right, cool. So he's based in London, obviously, a London man, and he's got two baby mothers. All right, so the first baby mother, he had a son with her. She lives in Coventry. And the second baby mother, he's got two daughters with her. So he's got 3 kids in total. All right, cool. So he was one of the man them who, when I used to DJ heavily out on the roads, I was DJing one night up in Coventry. And then he must have saw the lady, because he came with me when I was DJing up there. It was one of my guests with me. So he must have saw one lady in a dance, liked her, spoke to her, got her number. So I said to my man, listen, like, just be easy with it. Yeah, just be a bit easy with it. So he was like, no, it's like, she's nice, she's this and she's that. So he was really hyping her up, innit? But I said, just be easy with it. Like, you know, I'm always on the roads, innit? So I'm always seeing ladies all the time. So I'm just telling him to be easy with it, because it was like he was getting himself too gassed over her in a short space of time. So what was happening in the beginning was he was like almost every weekend he was taking a trip up to Coventry to go and see her, which I said to him, it's your thing, innit? So he was going back and forth with it. Like he was going up there. And then sometimes she would come from Coventry into London to come and see him. So this was going on now for about 3 years. He was doing the commuting and then she was doing it back and forth. So the relationship was obviously getting serious. So why the relationship was getting serious now? He did say to her, look, I know we are doing what we're doing and we're now boyfriend and girlfriend, but at this stage of my life, I'm not ready to be a father yet. Like I don't want to have any kids as yet, because I'm still trying to set myself up. She turned around and she said to him, look, she's not in that place either to have kids yet. She just also wants to live her life, etc. Cool. So they both came to that mutual agreement that it was, you know, both of them are neither ready to have kids yet. So one day now, he was at work. One day he got a text, and in the text, it was saying that bottom line, she's pregnant. So he was like to her, all right, cool. When he finishes work, he will talk to her when he gets home and they can obviously have this conversation. So long story short, he spoke to her and she turned around and told him that she wants to have the child. If he's in a child's life or not, she is going to have the child. And she said she does not care about the money side to it, because she goes, she would have the money covered. All she does is just wants to have him, to make sure that she just asks is make sure you would just be in a child life. Her and her family will do the rest in terms of taking care of the child. That's what she said to him. All right. So he was like, again, he was more like pissed off because he was just like, he did not want to have the child. But he manned up to it and he said, look, cool, I will do what I need to do for this child. All right. So from when that kind of happened, the relationship kind of got a bit rocky from there. But he stayed with her. So then when they was doing the birth classes and stuff, he was going to the birth. So whenever the birth classes was, he was going to see it, do the birth classes with her. And then a discussion then came where she's now saying to him, would you move down to Coventry? So he was like to himself, but I have no business to move to Coventry. I like it in London. He doesn't really like the accent up there and whatever. Anyway, so from there, she gave birth to the child. He was at the birth and that. And then from there, I think maybe for the first 3 years, first off, I think it was the first 4 years. First 4 years, he then, he was still doing the back and forth. He would go up to Coventry, then come back down and go to travel. So he was doing that, being in the child's life over on the weekends. He was more like a weekend father going up there. And then he just kind of then felt like he didn't want to be in this relationship no more. He just wasn't feeling it no more. After obviously the child's 4 now and he just wasn't feeling it. So he said to the mum, look, he sat down with the mum and said to her, look, I don't really want to be in this relationship no more. She didn't take it too well in terms of, because she was more now saying that you're going to break up a family unit. She was like, what could she do different? And that he's like, it's nothing to do with what you can do different or not. He's checked out of this relationship. So all he wants to do right now is just focus on the child, on his son. All right, cool. So then maybe I'm being nice on this one, right? I'm going to say between 6 to 8 weeks. All right. No, so before I even get to that, I missed this part. All right. So they sat down and it was, what can we do for our son? So it was, they sat down and talk about the dates he can have. So he was told that he can have his son every other Sundays. Every other Sundays he could have, no, what am I chatting about? Every other week he could have the child. All right, so that's from Friday, he would pick up the child and then he would drop the child back on the Sunday. That was the arrangement. That was the agreement. And the agreement was that he would have to pay $250 a month to the child. So the mum, the allowance he would give the mum is be $250 a month for the 4-year-old's son at the time. So after that now, it was like, cool. So remember I said about the 6 weeks now, and I'm being nice with this because I think it could have been even sooner, but just to, I don't want to try to make it be, so I'm just going to say, look, it was 6 weeks. So what happened was 6 weeks after that, he went to pick up his son. So when he's now picked up his son is now talking about, putting some words together, but saying something to do with another man. So which then led on to be, she had a new guy around the child after 6 weeks, which was a bit weird. And even I said to my man, I said, bro, that's a bit, a bit enough still. That's a bit quick. To have another guy in your space within 6 weeks after you've been in a relationship for how many years? So obviously he was a bit fuming, but he kept it to himself, innit? He didn't say nothing. He just asked the child, like, oh, who's this guy? And the child, what he could make out what the child was saying to him. So he's now dropped the child home now, and he said to the mum, look, he pulled her aside and he said, look, my son is telling me that there's some new guy around, to what he was making out. So the mum tried to deny it in the beginning. She tried to deny it in the beginning. So he said, cool, innit? Like, he even ain't got no proof. He just what his son is telling him. It could be anybody. It could be your uncle. It could be whoever. So he didn't take it on too much. So while that was going on now, when it came to the next week, or when it came to his turn again for picking up the child, the mum said, look, the child's busy this weekend. You can't take him. So he allowed it because this was the first time the mother's now saying to him, look, you can't take the child, innit? So he's like, cool. So then when it came to his week again, the mother now said the same thing to him. So he was like, hold on a minute. Like, now this is the second time you're now telling me I can't see my child. So he kind of had to put her up now and goes, listen, like, I'm not really trying to get into all this with you, yeah? But like, let's be consistent to what you're telling me, innit? Like, we've made our arrangement. Let's stick to what the arrangement is. Yeah? Cool. So when it got to the third time now, so this is now going into the 6 weeks now. So because every other week. So he's now going into the 6th week. He again gets another text from the mother saying, you're not allowed to see your son no more. So he's like, hold on a minute. Like, what kind of game is she now playing with him? All right. So then, obviously, he's now banging on her phone, trying to find out like what's really going on here, innit? So she's now airing him. So she's not been picking up the phone now. She's just airing my man. So what he now done, he must have picked up himself, drove down there. So now he's drove down to the house now. She's knocking the door. She's not answering. But you can see that her car's parked outside, innit? So he's out there knocking down the door. She's not answering. Boom, boom, boom. So he said, you know what? He's going to head back to London. So he drove back to London now. And then I'm thinking about within the next week, he saw a CSA letter in his letter, obviously came through his door. So now he's got this letter now. She's now obviously claiming for more money, innit? Because remember, he's been paying her $250 every month, and he's been consistent paying his money every month to her. So it's now like she's now trying to tap him for more money now. So he phoned CSA and he was saying to them, look, I don't even get to see my youth no more. What can you not do about it? They say there's nothing what they can do about it. What you need to go and do is you have to go through the legal way to it. Whatever. So he filled out the form and whatnot. When he spoke to them, he filled out the form, he sent that back. So when he's now sending that form back now, when it came back now, he only had to pay £100 a month. All right. So it was only 100 he had to give her. So when she now got that letter, she's now phoning him now saying, you better be giving me the 250 and not the 100. But he's like, well, hold on a minute. Like, you went CSA. I didn't go CSA. All right. So are you telling me about the don't give you the 100 and make sure that I'm giving you the 250? So she was like, if you want to see your son again, you have to give me the 250 and not the 100. So he's like, but I want to see my son. She goes, yeah, you can see your son if you're giving me 250, but I'm not taking 100 from you. But he's like, but you went CSA. I didn't go CSA. I've been consistent of paying my money. She goes, well, that's what the deal is. And she put down the phone. So he came to me now and he goes, you're Rids. Like, she's telling me that I have to give her 250 or I can't see my youth. So I was like, obviously that was sticky because I'm saying to him, what you could do, and I would ask you like this, like what should he have done in this situation? But I said to him that if it's £100, give her the 100, all right? But then use that 150 to buy stuff what that child needs. So if the child needs clothes, whatever, you give the stuff to the child, in it. Like, so if the child needs trainers, whatever, you still then add that into it. So you can't then turn around and say you're gonna hold that away from the child, innit? Cool. So he said to me, "No, Riz, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna give her the 250 because I want to see my child." So I said to him, "Bro, like, listen, I'm on whatever you're on. That was just my advice to you, innit? Like, you get me? Like, so whatever. It was what it was, innit? Cool." So he started giving her the 250 because he looked at it, he was giving it to her anyway. So whatever. So he started seeing the child again. But this only happened for about another, I think, maybe for another 2 months. And then she stopped all contact again. So that was a bit strange what she was doing. So it's like she was allowing him to see the child for a certain bit of period of time, and then she would just go ghost. She would just cut him off, all right? So after 2 months, she's cutting him off again, all right? So he said, you know what, F this, all right? I'm only giving her a bill, and then I'm gonna just pay $150 now to her through like clothes, whatever, which I did tell him to do in the beginning. But again, it's my man thing and it's not me. All right. So he was doing that. Right. So he's not even seen his child now. So he then gets a call out of the blue a few months later. She's trying to reconnect with him again. About him seeing his child. So he said to her, look, I'm not really into this starting and stopping in it. If I'm seeing my child, I'm seeing my child. But stop this starting and stopping in it because it's starting to, obviously, it's playing around with his mental health, isn't it? So from there, he was able to see the child again. But it was like the same thing. It was for a few months. And then she would just cut it off. So I said to him, bro, look, I think you should to maybe look to try and do it a different way, like try and mediate with the family or something, because this is too much. Remember, she was also, I remember she was doing this as well. She used to send my man so much texts, just rinsing him, cussing him off, saying you're this and you're that, you're a waste man. She was doing too much. At one point, I just said to my bro, I don't know how you do it, you know. But she was literally, every time she used to message my man, she'd be messaging him to rinse him. And he's a good guy. And I can say that he's a good guy, yeah. He's not one of them guys, like, he's a good guy. He's a man who really loves his kids, all right? So after that now, he got in contact with her sister because she's got 2 brothers and a sister. So yeah, she's got 2 older brothers, sister, and then she's the youngest in this, all right? So she's the youngest in her siblings. So he reached out to her sister first, right? So the sister was like, cool. She would be the mediator to this. So she said she's going to go and speak to her sister and then obviously try and see if she could be the mediator where he can just pick up the child from the sister and then drop the child back to the sister and that. So he can just cut out the mum. So he spoke to the sister got back to him and he goes, look, do you know what? Like, I'm going to be the mediator in between us. All right, cool. So he's dropping the child to, so he's going to collect the child from the sister. He dropped the child back to the sister. So he's been doing that for a few months now. So when he's now messaging the sister, bear in mind as well, he doesn't argue the mother. He doesn't, like when the mother texts, he never responds back to the negative texts. When he picks up the child, he would never try and have an argument with the mum or nothing. He wouldn't do none of that kind of stuff, right? Just to put that out there, all right? Because I've been there a couple of times myself, and he was good. He was good. When I was there at times when he was doing whatever, or there'll be times he would have me on the phone just to make sure what was going on. So there couldn't be no allegations. What he was saying, wasn't seemed to be what it was. All right. So after that, now, he was messaging the sister to tell her, look, yeah, I'm to come to collect the child at this time. So the sister's now sent a message saying, I have to get back to you. So he was like, I don't understand. It's supposed to be my weekend. So the sister then got back to him and said, oh, you can't take the child this weekend. The mum's got plans. So the sister said, he goes to the sister, but you don't know that it's my weekend. So the sister's like, oh, there's nothing I can do. So he said, cool. So he then does it with the sister again the following time when it's supposed to be his time. Again, the same situation. The child is busy. The child can't see you. with the mum. So he's like, do you know what, ban this. So he's now gone to speak to one of the brothers now, innit? So he spoke to the brother. The brother's like, cool, I would be the immediate in this. So the brother was doing it, and it was working for a lot of length of time. It was working. So while it was working, the brother said to him, look, your child has got a birthday party coming up. The mum told me to tell you this and for you to come to the party. So he was like, cool, innit? Yeah, I'm going to roll to the party, etc. Boom, boom, boom. So the brother goes, also, just to let you know, the mum is asking for half of the money for you to pay for the birthday party. So he was like, cool, like just let me know how much it's going to cost and I will just send the money to where I need to send the money to cover this child's party. So when he gets to, so he does that, he goes to the child's party, whatnot. So he's now seeing the mother for the first time from that time when she said to him that he couldn't see his child from the first time when she went ghost on him. So went to the party, because I went to the party with him, and I think there must have been about 10 of us who went to the party. So when we went to the party now, there was one brother there, innit? And this was the same brother who the child was referring to in regards to, remember, going back to the 6 weeks. So this was the same brother who that child was chatting about. So when they broke up, 6 weeks later, this new brother she's dating, and she's had this new brother around the child. So we're at the party now, boom. So my boy, inside, he was fuming. He was like, raw, like, how can she try and like rub this guy in my face? It was weird, because it's like she just obviously locked him off completely from when she's met this guy. But inside he's kind of feeling a bit pissed off, because he's like, you've got me paying for a party and then you just got some dude up in there, innit? Which you haven't even told me about. But cool. It was what it was. So he then done a smart move. So he said, look, I'm not going to let her draw me out, innit? So what I'm going to do, I'm not here for my child's party, and that's the focus, is my child's party. So what he done, he went up to the boyfriend, her new man, or at the time, yeah, it was her boyfriend now, innit? So he went up to the boyfriend and then said to him, like, listen, I'm such and such's father, etc. So again, it was mutual, man. Like, there was no bad vibes. Basically, when he actually spoke to the brother, he was like, nah, this brother's cool, man. Like, he actually said there, the brother, from when he had that little conversation with the brother, he felt more at ease, innit? He was like, yeah, man, this brother's cool, man. So he left it what it was, innit? So then, so after that now, when we left, the family was there, everyone was there. It was a nice party, man. I'm not even gonna lie, it was a good party. And there was good energy in there as well. So when we obviously left now, obviously he said bye to the family members. Obviously respect to the brother for making that all work and that. And then obviously he pulled the mother aside and he goes, listen, man, this is just silly, innit? Like, I'm not trying to be a best friend in that, but for co-parent wise, man, like, it needs to be better, innit? Like, I haven't even done nothing to you for you to be moving like this. But again, when we was driving home now, like, when we was trying to put some puzzles together, I was like, is it the man who's making the mother behave like this? Or is it her boyfriend is making her behave like this? Or is it she is behaving like this? Because what I have personally noticed that sometimes, right, I'm not saying this is going out to all mothers, right, but I feel like sometimes when you got mothers out there, sometimes I think they don't really care if it's the biological father who's there, or if they just have a male figure around their child. As long as they've got a male figure around their child, that's what they really care about. They don't really care about if it's the main biological father there or not. I could be wrong, but that's just my thing on things at times. I look at certain situations, I'm like, nah, man, like, she's just more happy that there's a man around, really. But you lot can debate on that anyway. Cool. So after that, it was his turn again to see the child. So now the brother's now turning around and saying, oh, she's now being difficult. She's not allowing for the child to you to see the child, innit? She's saying that she's busy doing whatever. So she's being inconsistent again. So it went on for a few more years now where he hasn't seen his child. Now he said, you know what, I'm done with this. It's long, innit? So he was still sending the money to the child every month. He was just sending £100 and then he was then sending the 150 in clothes and stuff. All right. So when it got to that now, she then, I think it could have happened, I think just before the COVID, she's now reached out and said to him, the normal line, do you want to see your son? So this, I think he didn't see his son for maybe for 2 years, 3 years. And in this time, I did say to him, bro, I think you need to do court. And he was just like, he didn't have the energy for it. He just said, look, he's mentally don't have the energy for that at that particular time when he was in his life. All right. I think what happened was, I think he felt so, I think it affected him bad. It affected him really bad, man. Like there would be days he's happy, and then there'd be days the man just down. It was rough for him. She's turned around and said, look, like her and her partner's not together no more, innit? She's now in a better space and all this stuff. So obviously the child, his son, he's kind of more grown up now, innit? But while he's kind of growing up, he's being a bit rebellious now. He said to the mum, look, these are the kind of things you have caused, because when I'm being active and trying to be active, you seem to always want to come in and just do something to make this not work. It's like, like where someone's just trying to sabotage your friendship between you and your child. That's what she was doing. She's like, anytime she can see that the son and him are happy and the son's coming home, maybe talking good things about him, the mom's like, nah, we can't be having none of that. So she would just sabotage the whole thing, innit? So now the dad now realised he's got to go court for this now, innit? Because it clearly shows you it doesn't matter what things you're trying to do to implement what you want. The mother is clearly wants to do what she wants to do, and it's on her terms. So he had enough, and he said, you know what? He's doing the court stage now. So he went through the courts now. I'm wrap it quick, yeah. So he went through the courts. When he was in court, he put her down the things that he asked for. So I think the things that he did ask for was to have his child every other week again. He asked for the half terms, what he asked for before. So it's kind of the things that he asked for before, innit? But he's now wanting this to be done on paper. And then he asked for, I think it was to take the child on holiday as well. So these are the things I think he was asking for. So the court granted it to him and said to him, no, that was it as well. That was the next one. The last one was the mother to drop the child to him. So he would collect the child, but then the mother would have to drop the child back to him, to come and collect the child to go back up. That's what he asked for in all of this, right? So the judge granted it, the court granted it and said, Judge, he can have the stuff what he's asked for. The mum then sent him, out of the blue, the mum then sends him a message, sending him an invite to the child's birthday party. So this is another party she's now having years later. She then messages him and says to him, just to let you know, you need to pay for the party. But he was like, I thought this is the invite that you sent me. He goes, what he's willing to do is pay for half of the party because it's in her area. That was what the agreement was. So she said, cool, innit? So he paid for the half of the party. So when he went to this party this time, now because he's now in a new relationship, he turns up with his new partner, right? So when he turns up with his new partner now, with the 2 kids, right? So this is his second baby mother he's with now. So he turns up with the baby mother and the 2 kids. So when he walks through the door now, the first thing to do, the baby mother goes up to him and says to him, how comes you didn't turn around and tell me that you was bringing your partner and your 2 kids? So he was a bit confused, because he was saying, but years ago when I came to my son's party, you didn't tell me about your partner was going to be here. And I didn't kick off or didn't say nothing. It was just cool. Even though he was fuming inside, he was able to put that difference aside and didn't make nothing. He said he went and spoke to the guy, he reasoned with the guy, whatever. So it wasn't a thing. So he looked at it that the fact that you didn't tell me that you was coming with your partner, he looked at it, you already set the boundaries to what it needs to be. So he didn't feel that he needed to tell the mother before he got there that he was bringing his woman. He just looked at it, at the end of the day, she was coming, and that was it. So that kind of caused a bit of tension in the party. So she then says to him, she's not welcome here. So you need to say to her, you need to tell her she needs to go. She needs to leave. So he put his foot down and goes, listen, no one ain't leaving, right? She's my woman and these are my 2 kids and that's my kid's mother. So she doesn't need, no one ain't leaving no party, innit? I'm here for my son. And then that was that. So from that party, when the party finished and not, obviously he's gone home, the mum has then cut off all contact. She wasn't allowing him to see his son no more. She blocked the son's phone to say you're not allowed to speak to her dad no more. Doing all these little small things again. Bear in mind as well, the courts really put things in place, innit? She didn't care. She's saying she's not doing none of this stuff. You're not seeing your son. And she blocked him out because she said that she felt disrespected because he brought his woman to the son's party without telling her. So that's the reason why she was saying that you're not allowed to see your son no more. Again, I'm going to leave that for you lot to decide if he was on the wrong in that for doing that. But just bear in mind, if she had her partner in the party years before that and didn't say that to him, I think she kind of did set the boundaries, what you couldn't do, because she's done that herself. So she's kind of being a bit of a hypocrite. But I leave that to you lot to decide on this story, yeah? So it started becoming like now, anytime now, the son was reaching out to the dad. It was always just for asking for things. It was never to spend time with the dad. It was always just asking for things like, dad, I want this, or can you get me that? It was never, so the dad kept on saying, look, I want to spend time with you, son. So the son was doing all of this. So the dad was saying to him, like the dad was saying, look, put that aside. I want to spend some time with you, innit? So like, when are you free for us to spend time? So his son would turn around and say to his dad, I'm not free on this day. I'm not free on that day, but I'm free on this day. Cool. So the dad will then book it in. I'll see you on this day. When that day comes, the son's now going ghost, yeah. The son doesn't turn up on the days he's now saying to come. But then every minute, he's on the phone to the dad again, asking for more things. So his dad's saying, but hold on a minute, like, let's put the materialistic stuff away. I want to spend time with you. The son is saying, the son's now becoming busy all the time now. Right? So he's not even no longer free. So every time that dad's trying to make plans to spend time with the son, every minute the son's now busy, innit? He can't, he's busy this day, he's busy that day. He's always busy, never free. So the dad, he sent him some stuff down just because he looked at it as his son, innit? So he sent some stuff down to the son. So then, so after that, maybe moving a bit more forward from there. Could have been about maybe 6 to 8 months where the son's always phoning for things, but never want to see him. Always cancelling on him. So he turned around and said, you know what? that dad checked out. He goes, you know what? I'm done. He said, he ain't begging to see his son no more. He said that the son knows where he's at. He's got his number. He knows where he's live. But he goes, for me, for trying to see my son, he's checked out. He goes, the fact that he's fought for his son this whole time, for the amount of madness that the mum has been dealing with, right? He has tried his best to be there for his son with all the nonsense what's been going on. And he just said he's checked out. He goes, he just can't do it no more. He goes, if he sees his son or not, if he sees his son or not, he does not care no more. And that's pretty much of a strong thing to say. That you don't care no more if you see your son or not, because you've now realized that the son is not really there for him. The son's only there to what he can now get from him. Now, I don't know who to blame in this situation. Do we blame the mother for all the madness from the beginning? With the inconsistent of every minute when she's seeing there's progress between her and him and the son, she gets in her feelings. Do I blame my boy for not maybe going court earlier or continue with going of court? Or do we just blame the child? Who do we blame in this? I'm going to hear your lot's views on today's show. It has been a different show, but let me know your lot's thoughts in the comments below, man. All right. So before I finish, I want to big up to any father out there who's going through a situation similar to the story I just told you. Because the reason why I say this is because if you've been spending your whole time fighting for your child, when do you say it's time that you give up? Or do you keep on fighting? Let me know in the comments, man. All right. It's your boy DJ Ridler from the Baby Fathers podcast. Don't forget, look out for each and every Thursdays, 8 p.m. Have your say right here on the Baby Fathers platform, all right? And don't forget as well, check out the merch on www.babyfathers.com. And while you're there, do check out the website if you are having difficulties of getting access to see your child. There is information on that website that may help you, okay? So listen, till next time, peace. We out, man.